Batman the Animated Series is an animated show that was released in the 1990s. This animated show is about Bruce Wayne, a millionaire playboy who gets along with people for the most part. He takes on a role as a cape superhero at night known as Batman. His job is to take care of criminals in Gotham City. There is not a consistent story in this show. It's more of an analyzation of Gotham City and how Batman is dealing with everything. In other words, it's the ultimate adaptation of the Batman comics. I love Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. I watched a few episodes of the Batman animated series as a kid, and for a long time, I wanted to watch this show in its entirety. HBO Max dropped this show on their streaming service on January 1st, and I spent the entire month of January binging the show, and I have to tell you, it was very worth it. This animated show has been hailed by critics as iconic, as a classic, as legendary, memorable, and I have to tell you, all of the praise it has gotten over the years has been warranted. Batman the Animated Series is without a doubt one of the best shows I have ever seen, one of the best written shows ever, without a doubt. Let me start off by saying that prior to this show coming out, there has been several adaptations of the character of Batman. I would say the most famous one is the one that came out in the 1960s, starring Adam West. If you watch that show today, you can tell it came from the 1960s. That's not a bad thing. You can tell that it's campy in its own way. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's just crazy how different this show was from the Adam West one. For one, this show is a lot more darker and it was more mature than the Adam West one ever was. I was surprised with how seriously they took this character and the amount of detail and care that the writers put into this world and the character of Batman overall. It just makes you appreciate the show that much more. There is quite a bit I want to talk about. So I'm going to talk about the voice acting really quick. I'm only going to talk about two actors, but take my word. Every character has perfect voice acting. Perfect. But to me, the two best are Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as Joker. Kevin Conroy as Batman is able to convey a variety of emotions in his voice as Batman. He's able to convey tragedy, devastation, menace, and even a caring nature in his voice. He really killed it as a character. He is definitely one of the best Batmans I have ever seen on screen. I'm so glad that he's been Batman for years because he wasn't just Batman for this animated show. He's been Batman in a lot of Batman animated movies. And I'm just happy about that. He just killed it as a character. Mark Hamill as Joker. What hasn't been said about Mark Hamill as Joker? I mean, his laugh, his psychotic nature, how sadistic he is, his dark comedy, which it has made me laugh a few times in the show, but man, he's just perfect as Joker. I mean, the best Joker with Heath, along with Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, without a doubt, just completely iconic. And one of the highlights of the show is his rivalry with Batman that he has a lot of times throughout the series, but it never feels repetitive. It's always original, it's always fresh, and it's just exciting in all the right ways. What I love about this show the most, other than the voice acting, the animation, which is beautiful and it's ages like fine wine, the music from Danny Elfman, and so many phenomenal aspects. My favorite one is the writing. The writing of this show is brilliant. It truly is a work of art because the writers of this show really put their heart and soul into it. And the way they make you care about Bruce Wayne and Batman, you have such a great understanding of the character. You understand how broken he is, how much pain he has, how tragic of a character he is. I mean, he has people in his life that he loves and cares about. And because of the decisions he makes throughout the series and his trust issues, he tends to have dysfunctional relationships with people. And it's really heartbreaking to see, but it really captures the character of Batman so perfectly. And it's because of that, it really makes you appreciate how mature this show is overall. This show is rated TV PG, but it really feels like it's written for adults because there's a lot of conversations and themes that would only resonate with adults. And as a kid, you could watch it and be entertained with the action sequences and fight sequences, which are so incredible and hold up well today. But it's the way the characters, they interact, what they talk about, and how you understand. You can find things relatable at a certain age, just like I did when I watched it in January. It's just such an incredible show in every way. You can tell that the writing is so good when some of the best episodes of the show are the ones where it's mostly filled with dialogue. It's just a bunch of characters just talking. And it's crazy to go with that approach in a kids show, but once again, it just shows how great the writing is. There are a total of 109 episodes in the Batman animated series. There's 3 seasons. Consistently, the episodes are awesome, they're riveting, they're incredible. It is one of the most consistent shows I have ever seen in my life. Not a single episode I disliked. I either really liked or loved episodes. I cannot pinpoint a single favorite yet. Maybe one day I'll make a top 10 favorite episode video on this channel. I don't know. I really have to think about it, but there are so many episodes like Joker's Favor, which is one of my favorites for sure. That's the introduction of Joker. Joker doesn't have a origin story in this series, but the introduction to the Joker character is in Joker's Favor, and it's perfect. It really gives you the idea of how Joker is. And Batman is actually not in the majority of this episode, but you don't care because you're so invested in what's going on, and it's just crazy. I also want to talk about the other villains, such as Harvey Dent as Two-Face, Mr. Freeze. You have the ventriloquist. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Scarface. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. You know, the person who has the doll, Scarface. I mean, I love that villain. He's so underrated. You have Penguin. You have Scarecrow. You have so many villains, and they're all handled so perfectly. And they all have origin stories that are just really well thought out, and they're awesome. So many phenomenal aspects of this entire series. What haven't I covered? I can't commend this show enough. This really is in my top 10 favorite shows of all time. The way Bruce Wayne and Batman is handled in this show, how you are able to care for the characters, how you're so invested and entertained. 109 episodes. They're about 22 minutes each, but I couldn't get enough of it. I'm watching Batman Beyond now, so I'll definitely review that when I'm done with it because it's a continuation of this show. All I can tell you is that Batman the Animated Show is a masterpiece. It's the best animated show for me. Why? Simple, because it's 3 seasons long, it's consistent throughout, and it's mature. It has everything: action, comedy, tragedy, drama, even a little bit of horror in some episodes. And it's a kid's show, but like once again, it feels like it's written for adults. It was way ahead of its time, in my opinion. I love the show. I cannot praise it enough. I'm so glad I saw it in its entirety. I would watch it again, honestly. Even though it's 109 episodes, I would watch it again. If you love Batman, if you want to see the show from start to finish and you have HBO Max, please do so. I promise you will not regret it. A masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Easily. Thank you to the actors, the writers, the directors, everyone involved in the show for creating it and making it so legendary. I cannot thank you guys enough. And I'm speaking for millions of people around the world. The show is amazing. Love it. Okay, guys, that's my review of Batman the Animated Series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be reviewing the movie Malcolm and Marie soon. I want to see that movie. I don't know when I'm going to see it yet. Hopefully soon, and I'll have it for you as soon as possible. I don't know if I'll have it this weekend. I'll try, but definitely sometime next week. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, share the video, and I'm happy to be back on YouTube consistently. I appreciate you guys. All right. Take care. Have a good weekend, and all right. I'll see you guys next time.